Welcome to class. We are learning how to can tomatoes. We're going to take tomatoes, peppers, and basil and salt and put it together in a jar and can it. Right now we're just, step one is picking the tomatoes. And then we'll go over here and we're going to grab some basil. Jesus has really blessed these cherry tomatoes. They're growing very abundantly. So this kind of newer growth that's a little bit more tender is kind of what I'm going to go after to pick. This basil is attracting lots of beneficial insects and pollinators. I wish we could transmit the scent of the basil through YouTube, but we can't. Video won't pick it up. Yes, that's a good question. Yes, it is going to seed. You can get a little bit more production out of your basil if you will diligently cut off all the flowers, and so it doesn't go to seed. But I've had plenty of basil, so I'm not really concerned about it going to seed. Basil is pretty potent, so we're not going to need a huge amount of basil, but we will definitely put some in. I'd like to thank my Heavenly Father because He has really blessed my garden. Like the watermelons have done, I've had more and bigger watermelons this year than ever before. And that's just, it's amazing. And I've got a field where I cut it for hay, and normally I get about 350 bales of hay off of it, and I got about 450. And I didn't like do anything different to it. I actually, some years I spread manure on it, and so that last year I didn't spread manure on it. So you would think that would make it to where you would have less production because it didn't receive the manure. But just, yeah, it's amazing. Okay. Well, you can see how these leaves are kind of turning yellow. Once it's going to seed, there's not as much leaf production. You can see over here, this plant did not go to seed. This one is not going to seed as much. You can see the difference in the color tone. These leaves are a little bigger, a little bit more tender. If I was a woman, I'd be faster at picking. Women's fingers can be faster than a man's. I'm not the fastest picker.
I'm thinking you got more than plenty.
I think I need more. And this kale is like another miracle, because normally here in Kentucky we can have some really hot weather in the summer, and so normally if you plant kale in the spring, you'll have some production, and then the bugs will just eat it up so much, and then it'll kind of die out. So it's kind of like a spring thing. So normally you plant it in the fall and it overwinters, and then you eat some in the spring, and then it kind of plays out. Or you plant it in the spring, you eat from it for a while, and then it plays out. And that's normally in the summertime, that's what happens. But as you can see, we have some very beautiful kale here, and it's made it all the way through the heat of the summer, and now we're in September and we're having a little cooler weather. So it really likes this weather. It's really thriving, and just it's incredibly amazing like year after year after year after year, my kale died out through the hot part of the summer. Just the bugs ate it up. But this year, it's being spared. And another thing that comes to my mind is on other years, the deer went and like would paw or stomp into the watermelons and then eat watermelons. And this year, I did not have one watermelon damaged by a deer or any other animal. For me, it's a sign of my Heavenly Father's blessing and His care and His protection. And I really want to give Him honor and give Him the credit for the protection that's been over my garden. We are cutting up some tomatoes and some peppers. And we'd like to say thank you for the person that sent us this and also the jars. They're being filled up.
And the ladle and the big stainless steel bowl and the cutting board.
Yes. Just cuts it in lots of little pieces. Goes through that grate there. We've got some basil here. We're going to cut it and put it in there. Big red pepper. We didn't realize that some of these peppers were hot. Okay, we've got some basil here, and we've got another bowl here, so we're going to cut up the basil and divide it between the two bowls there. Smells so good. Basil's one of my favorite smells.
So is this your own recipe?
Yeah, we just had a bunch of tomatoes and a bunch of peppers to use up and plenty of basil. So, yep, making use of what we have in the garden. Earlier, I put about 6 tablespoons of this pink Himalayan salt into each one. And we will mix this basil in. I can already smell it. This will be really nice in the winter time when we're making a pot of soup or beans. We can open up a quart of this and add it in. very colorful with the red peppers and the yellow tomatoes and red tomatoes.
That smell really good.
Yeah. Okay. We want to say thank you to the folks that sent us these jars also.
And the funnel.
Yes. Stainless steel funnel too. Thank you. Just what I needed. Yeah.
So exciting.
It is. It is. And so thankful to our Heavenly Father that has given us such an abundance in the garden. And it's a good feeling when it's canned up and preserved. And then on a cold winter day when you don't have fresh tomatoes or peppers, you can open up a jar of this and add it to your beans or your soup. Wonder how many jars this is going to make.
I was thinking the same thing. I think we're going to need more than those 12.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I overfilled this one. It's kind of musical. You hear this certain tone when it first goes in, and then with each ladleful, a little different tone.
It looks so beautiful.
It is. It is. Our Creator has really made so many different amazing colors. I remember my sister Esther and I would get out pots and pans and bang on them and try to make music with them. Some of my happiest memories as a child was helping can tomatoes and applesauce and green beans. Okay, so 7 quarts out of that.
Well, I think that bowl's bigger, so it'll be more than 7
Yes.
quarts for that.
I would imagine it'll be probably close to 20 quarts. We'll see.
I think 16.
16? Okay, you guess 16, I guess 20. Probably somewhere in the middle is probably more what it is.
So I'm thinking this would be really good for pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it would. Especially with all the basil in it.
Mm-hmm. Blend it up into a sauce.
Mm-hmm. You want to make these rings fairly snug. And I made the mistake one day of not tightening them down very much. And for some reason, like that, when they were boiling, the contents started leaking out into the water bath, and then we had some jars that just exploded on us. And yeah, it was a kind of a mess. Still think 16 quarts?
Yes.
I think you're closer to being accurate than me. I think 20 is a little more.
I think I thought about it longer than you did, though, too.
Probably.
Because I was sitting here analyzing it before you said that.
Okay, that's 12 of them. I need to go get more jars. Well, maybe 5 more will do it.
Or 4.
Or 4. We will find out. Beautiful the willing hands that fulfill the Lord's commands. Beautiful the seeing eyes kindled with light from the skies. Beautiful, beautiful are the hands that fulfill the Lord's commands. Beautiful, beautiful are the eyes, kindled with light from the skies. Ooh.
This might be the last jar. It might be 15.
That would be nice if it would just fit perfectly in here. I think it will.
Careful, Titus.
Yeah, I think I've got a little bit too much.
So do you want to get a half jar or?
No, I think I will just cut a few more tomatoes and get another quart. I think that this will do it.
I think 2 tomatoes.
2? Alright.
I think you should cut 2 and then decide.
Okay. Ooh, yeah.
I'm glad I wasn't right there.
Yeah, it squirted a little bit there.
Almost got me.
Whoops. Okay. Now, hopefully we've got enough for one more quart.
I think that would make a good vegetable soup base too.
It would, yes. I think it's just perfect.
I don't know about perfect, Titus.
Think it's too much?
We'll see.
There's a little bit of airspace in there. Yeah, that's perfect. We just have a few small pieces. Gather up the fragments that remain, Jesus said, that nothing be lost. Okay. some reason, that ring doesn't want to fit. Maybe this one will work. Okay, yep, that one works. You were right, 16. Okay, now, we don't want this water too hot or the contrast can break the jar. But I think we're okay. Water levels coming higher and higher.
The lids are supposed to be covered by like an inch of water. I think you're good.
Okay, I'll give the rest to the stinging nettles. Some neighbors of mine, when I moved here like 9 years ago, they gave me a start of those stinging nettles and they've just been growing and producing nutrition for us ever since.
Wow.
I'm going to open up a little bit more air for this fire here. I'm using this rock because I don't want to burn my fingers on there. And I'm going to go and get a little bit more firewood and put it in here. Well, everything's all set. It'll just boil in there. I'll probably let it boil for around 2 hours or so. And then we'll pull them out and they'll go ping, 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 and they'll start sealing up. Thanks for joining us. I hope this inspires you to do some canning and get ready for the winter.